Hi, I'm Trudy Humberson. I teach 5th grade at Brewston School. My 2-week project was on watersheds. The unit started when I placed a polluted sample of water on each table. I gave the students a box of items such as cups and coffee filters, pH paper, and lemon juice, and I told them their task was to clean up the sample. And I didn't give them any instructions on how to do this. At the end of the class period, we discussed what characteristics do we look for in clean water, and how do we know that the water we're drinking is safe. The students kept a daily reflective journal, and in those journals they wrote down what they had learned that day and any questions that they had, which we discussed the following day. Those questions from the journals led to things like, what is a watershed? Where does our water come from? So I taught the students how to read topography maps. And then I gave them a topography map of the Brewston Mills area. And I asked them to make a clay model of what they thought the land around Big Sandy and Brewston Mills looked like. We covered those clay models in saran wrap, and then we spritzed them with water. And the kids could see that the water ran into a central location, which would be the Big Sandy watershed. We invited speakers for Friends of Decker Creek into our classroom, and they told us how they tested the health of a stream. And they also talked about careers in environmental science. With their help, and with some really neat equipment that I obtained from a watershed class that I had taken through Fairmont State, we were able to take the kids to the Big Sandy stream and let them test the quality there for themselves. We put the students into small groups, and the students tested for things like pH and turbidity and metals in the water, and then they collected all the macroinvertebrates that they could find. They were really surprised to find so many freshwater clams and larvae of dragonflies. I also told the students to look for any evidence of pollution, like any types of pipes that might be protruding from the stream bank. Once we were back in the classroom, students were put into teams to prepare PowerPoints on the data that they had just collected. And included in their PowerPoints were graphs which they made on Excel. The students said that they should share the information with not only their peers, but also with the community itself. And so we arranged for a trip to the town council, and there they shared their PowerPoints. At the end of the project, students worked on persuasive writing techniques in order to relay their reasons to the readers for why we should keep the watersheds clean. We sent these essays to a local newspaper, and they used bits and pieces of those essays to write a front-page news story about our project. I think in the end, students came away with a greater respect for the environment, and they also had knowledge to use 21st century learning tools to communicate their ideas and the facts.